We are with Peter Fyvie, our general manager of how many years?
I think it was over 20.
20 years.
20 great years.
And he is the gentleman that brought hospitality to the Granite Club. And he was a terrific manager. And during the golf process, he supported and assisted the program right through the piece, especially the membership at the end, where he gave an accelerated position for people applying for memberships at both clubs. In addition, when we really needed membership, we had a special transferable membership, STM, and Peter supported the club by participating. So Peter, it's great to see you.
Oh, thanks, Skip. You know, from the Granite staff point of view, Granite Golf was a very important addition to the club. We were still in the throes of a changeover from a recession in 1989, 91, and we were looking for new members for the Granite Club. And somebody came up with this great idea as to keep making the club looking better and bigger. And Granite Golf, to us, was the perfect choice to do it. It took a while to get it going, and for us, it really added over, even though it sort of broke off into its own, through those years of 2000 to 2010, it added immeasurably to our membership and brought a lot of great things for the Granite Club. So from staff, we loved it.
When you use the word immeasurably, that's just what your contribution was.
Oh, thanks very much, Skip.
Thank you, Peter.
Yeah, you mentioned that I supported it. We did. I believed in it deeply. And I never thought I would lose money. It's sort of like a stock buy, to buy a share of the club. Made me feel good, and it supported the membership, which I just love to do. These were some of the best people, the people that thought up this golf thing in the 1990s were some of the best people I've ever met in my life. And these were the board directors, people with a great vision, great bravery to do something like this for their club. And of course, they loved golf too, but that was there.
Peter,
So
thank
Doug
you.
Knights is
We are now welcoming Doug Knights. Doug Knight was the CFO at the Granite Club during the construction of the Granite Club, or Granite Golf Club, and he was Mr. Mean, let me tell you. So we had 2 or 3 budget changes, and for a lot of activity that we could not control from the Conservation Authority. Doug was incredibly professional and diligent in keeping us on the straight and narrow. And not only that, when it came to the end where we were scrambling for members in order to get approval from the TD Bank, he executed a family STM, special transferable membership, and that was one of the items that made the club work. So from many facets, Doug, we're grateful to you and welcome. Do you have any special recollections?
Thanks, Skip. I could only start by saying that there were more than a couple of budget adjustments along the course, but that was just part of it. For me, the whole thing was a great adventure and a tremendous opportunity to learn with some experts about land development, golf construction projects, and financing of such. And frankly, a wonderful diversion from the routines of accounting for the club activities and finances. So I enjoyed the whole project immensely. My involvement was much appreciated. I was glad to be given that chance. My only regret was that I actually left the club on June 30th of 2000, which was about a week before the grand opening of the club.
But you did come back and play.
I did come back. I was invited back to play a couple of times, and I certainly enjoyed that. And it's a great facility. It was an adventure. It was wonderful to be able to work with people who were so knowledgeable and frankly well-connected and able to pull miracles out of a bag time and time again. I think of how quickly, for example, the OMB meeting was arranged, an emergency OMB meeting that became critical at the end when some aspect of the project was challenged and therefore the whole project was at risk. I think it was within a week we had an OMB scheduled. I think of our meetings, Skip, you and I forget who else was there with the then Bailey, but I'm maybe wrong there.
Well, John Fitzpatrick initiated it at the TD Bank.
Anyway, again, that meeting with the TD Bank president was set up in a matter of hours, basically. The accommodations that were made to us because of the connections and the influence of members of the team were outstanding. And of course, the land assembly process was exciting by trying to keep up with Skip, you, and the way that you kept selling memberships to various people, each with different conditions. The point was, the bottom line was, they submitted a check. Anyway, tried to keep track of what particular privileges and advantages and benefits went with each special membership was a bit of a challenge. Overall, it was a fantastic opportunity and a great memory of mine.
Well, Doug, it was a pleasure to work with you and certainly learn a great deal about professional accounting. Thank you. You made the process work.
Thank you.
So, Doug, I want to ask you about your recollections of three of the people involved in the project, and that would be Dr. Bob Marshall, Paul Lavelle, and Milton Hess. Any special memories?
Each one of them a very special man for different reasons, and sad to say, each one gone now, so that makes me sad. Going way back, I have a special place in my heart and always did for Paul Lavelle, because when I was first hired at the club here, he was the guy that was charged with interviewing me and making a recommendation as to my suitability for the position. So
That'd be a tough master.
so thanks, Paul, for that. Milton Hess, I've known for many years, even before I came to the Granite Club, because we had professional dealings when I was in public accounting. He was in practice with stipends. So we go back a long ways too. Barb Marshall, I only met here at the club, and he was a true gentleman, and he brought a certain calmness and serenity to the whole process, and that was a much needed aspect, a much needed contribution. Particular contributions, I'll just comment on one in particular. As I recall, it was Bob who, on the backside of a napkin, designed the logo for Granite Golf, and I don't know if it's still in use or not.
It is.
It probably is, because it was worthy of lasting. So that was one of his special contributions. Milton, of course, was a real estate lawyer, and I think was very influential in the land assembly aspects. And Paul Lavelle, as a finance guy, was key in making it all possible financially. So each of them, huge contributions.
Thank you very much.
Ron Bessie, President and Honorary Director, the Granite Club. 1992, President and Honorary Director, Granite Golf Club. At the 1992 annual meeting, Ron made a comment that the only facility missing at the Granite Club was a golf club. He generated interest, and the development of the golf club proceeded. Ron subsequently joined the project as captain in 1999 and was subsequently president for 3 years. He went through thick and thin. Ron, tell us about it.
Well, that was kind of a slip of the tongue when I said at the annual meeting that the one thing we did not accomplish that year was the golf course. And that kind of started a movement going. And then I thought I had removed myself nicely when I retired from the board. And I'm not sure the year. I was approached by the then committee to see if I would get involved.
1999.
1999. I was a little reluctant. However, once I kind of got back into it, hearing some of the issues and stories, I was just honored to be able to come back in and then take over as chairman of the committee. And basically what we did then is a lot of hard work, very good people. We formed a committee of people that were on the board, and we set up, I think it was 6 different committees. We had finance, we had sales and marketing, we had clubhouse, we had grounds, but finance was the big one, and also sales and marketing. We had to come up with 550 members. in order to get our financing to develop the course. Now, all the time that I was involved in running these early morning meetings with some very talented people, the actual golf course was built or being built. John Granite, who was the general manager then, he really worked with our architect and another kind of subcommittee to make sure that the course was being built and designed in a way that was favorable to our members. So it was really a lot of work, a lot of issues, and some of the big issues was, you know, the clubhouse. We really felt we needed a clubhouse, and we had a lot of advice from members and outsiders as to how we designed that clubhouse. But again, our committee did a super job, and our clubhouse today is one to be proud of. Getting the membership was a tougher job. We had to keep selling, and there were a lot of members who went out there and really knocked on doors to get people to come and be members of our club. Financing, we were with the TD Bank at that time, and they were very sticky on us having certain number of members in order that we could keep that financing. And of course, a golf course is a very expensive project and ongoing forever. Then we had to do rules and regulation. That was also a very tedious thing. And we relied on other clubs and what they did to know whether what our dress code was going to be and what those rules and regs were. But again, good leadership amongst the other committee members really got this done in a swift and easy way. Other issues were, would we be an equity club or non-equity? And that was a tough one because there were a lot of opinions on why wouldn't we be equity so you could sell your equity at the end when you leave. But we got some good advice and brought in consultants on that one, and all agreed, it was unanimous, that we should not be an equity club. And that was a very, very important decision, and one that has, I think, really saved the course in the succeeding years, because when tough times, people do not always stay with their club. So it's a pleasure for me to go back out there and see what we have today, because it's a wonderful, wonderful family. And that was key, family golf club.
Ron, thank you. You were essential and critical to the development of the club. We were very fortunate to have you as our president for 3 years. Thank you very much. We welcome David Brown, founding golf member, past president of the Granite Club, chair of a number of golf committees during the 1990s, negotiated with some antagonistic members from the Granite Club, also was instrumental in establishing the firewall between the Granite Club and the golf club, and a significant contributor. David, welcome. And David, have you got any favorite recollections?
Well, first of all, the club has come a long, long way, and I can take zero credit for any of the success of the club. One of my favorite recollections was tromping the course with Tom McBroom, and somebody asking him, so how do you design the course, Tom? And he says, well, I design it for right-hand male slicers. And he's hit the nail right on the head. So I thought of switching to be a left-handed golfer because he's got my number. It's been a wonderful time. Before the Granite Golf Club was built, I hadn't played golf, so I was blissfully unaware of all of the frustrations that the game brings. But I do very much enjoy it here.
David, thank you, and thank you for your many legal contributions.